science in life.
The abortion pill caught in the legal and political storm. Abortion is the termination of a pregnancy before its term or before it can survive outside the womb. It involves removing the embryo or fetus from the uterus through surgery or medication. Which method to be used depends on various factors, such as the stage of pregnancy, the woman's health, and the availability of medical services. Abortion has been a highly controversial topic for decades, with varying opinions on its morality and legality. Proponents argue that women should have the right to make decisions about their own bodies and that abortion is a necessary medical procedure that can help prevent unwanted pregnancies and protect women's health and well-being. Opponents, on the other hand, often view abortion as taking an innocent life and argue that it is morally wrong and should be illegal. There are various laws and regulations governing abortion worldwide, and they differ significantly from country to country. In some places, abortion is legal and widely accessible, while in others, it is strictly prohibited or highly restricted. The debate over abortion is ongoing, and it remains a complex and emotionally charged issue that affects many people's lives. In the United States, 53% of abortions within the first trimester of pregnancy are medically induced using a pill called Mifepristone. The same drug was known as RU486 in the past. 40% of abortion clinics in the country only offer this abortion pill that was approved by the FDA 23 years ago. It has been shown to be safe and proven effective in inducing abortion. Now, the pill has been caught in a political storm with opposing rulings by 2 federal judges. A ruling by a Texas judge is to invalidate the FDA-approved Mifepristone for abortion, pointing out that FDA improperly approved the drug 23 years ago, brushing off its safety concerns. However, since its development in 1980, Mifepristone was approved in 1987 in France to terminate early pregnancy. It took 13 years to introduce Mifepristone to the United States. Only in 2000 was the drug approved in the United States for the same indication. That was after the FDA's comprehensive review of Mifepristone's safety and efficacy data. Within an hour after the ruling by the Texas judge, a Washington state federal judge issued a ruling contradicting the previous one, indicating the FDA should do nothing to halt the availability of the pill in most states where abortion is allowed. Soon after, over 400 pharmaceutical leaders strongly condemned the ruling by the Texas judge, saying that if the court can reverse the decision on an FDA-approved drug, disregarding the science, then all drugs will be at risk for the same legal challenge. The governor of Massachusetts ordered stockpiling 15,000 doses of Mifepristone. Amidst all this political turmoil, the legal consequences are now to be resolved in the Fifth Circuit, the most controversial appeals court in the United States. Leaving aside the drug's current legality, let's look into the science behind Mifepristone. Mifepristone is the primary pill in the 2-drug combination used to induce abortion through the 10-week gestation period. That means 70 days or less since the first day of the last menstruation period. In the 2-drug combination, Mifepristone pairs with misoprostol for rapid and effective termination of pregnancy. What is Mifepristone? It is a small molecule drug, an antagonist, that blocks progesterone, a steroid hormone essential for a woman's reproduction and pregnancy. A progesterone antagonist is an impersonator or a dummy of progesterone that binds the cellular receptor intended for progesterone, thereby inhibiting the hormone's function. To do that, Mifepristone has a structure and shape close to progesterone. It was developed by Roussel a French drug company, hence, it was initially called RU486. The drug RU486, the same as Mifepristone, revolutionized the practice of abortion and earned the title "The Pill That Changes Everything" on the cover of the June 14 issue of Time magazine in 1993. It is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. How does Mifepristone induce abortion? Being an anti-progesterone agent, it blocks the action of progesterone, the critical hormone required to prepare and maintain the endometrium, or inner wall of the uterus, to take hold of the early embryo until the placenta is developed to anchor it. Progesterone is secreted by the corpus luteum, the remnant body of the ovarian follicle, after ovulation or releasing the egg. The body expects the released egg would fertilize and find its way to the uterus as an early embryo for development. Corpus luteum secretes progesterone until the placenta develops at weeks 8 and 12, upon which the placenta takes over the production of progesterone. If the egg is not fertilized, the corpus luteum disintegrates, reducing the unwanted progesterone. In a natural menstrual cycle, if the egg is not fertilized, the already thickened inner lining of the uterus starts shedding, resulting in menses. This is due to the natural reduction of the progesterone level with the decay of the corpus luteum. However, if the progesterone level is artificially reduced by medication, even in the presence of pregnancy, the endometrium that secures the embryo will start to deteriorate or detach, resulting in an abortion. This is precisely what mifepristone does. Progesterone plays a vital role throughout pregnancy. 1. As mentioned, it prepares the endometrium for the implantation of the embryo. 2. It inhibits prostaglandins, a family of lipids with hormone-like properties that promote the contraction of smooth muscle cells of the uterus and induce the expulsion of the fetus. This ensures that undesirable damage to the embryo is halted by early abortion. 3. It protects the fetus by suppressing the mother's immune response against the fetal antigens and thereby inhibits the rejection of the fetus by creating an immune-privileged space within the womb. 4. It also promotes the development of the mother's breast tissue for future lactation to nourish the baby once it is born. Progesterone maintains a healthy endometrium that supports the growth of an embryo and interferes with premature labor or abortion by inhibiting prostaglandin synthesis that stimulates undesirable uterine contraction. So, it is evident that blocking progesterone by mifepristone creates a biological environment undesirable and unhealthy for the developing embryo. The inhibition of progesterone action will lead to the induction of prostaglandin to stimulate the contraction of the uterus to promote early labor to expulse the fetus that was already detached from the uterine wall or the endometrium. To quicken the process of abortion, the second drug, misoprostol, an analog or an agonist of prostaglandin, helps to rapidly induce the contraction of the uterus and labor. FDA-approved misoprostol to prevent and treat gastric ulcers caused by nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs NSAIDs. Its use in abortion and other gynecological applications is off-label. Misoprostol comes in its brand name, Cytotec, 200 micrograms. It is also used to manage natural miscarriages in women, combined with mifepristone. Mifepristone comes in two marketed brands, Mifepristone, 200 mg, and Korlym, 300 mg. High-dose mifepristone, 300 mg, is given to regulate blood glucose levels in patients with Cushing's syndrome, another indication of this drug that the FDA has approved. A 600 mg dose of mifepristone is given as emergency contraception within 72 hours of unprotected sex. However, this is not the commonly known morning-after pill, which has a different drug. For early abortion 70 days or less, day 1 mifepristone, 200 mg, oral followed by day 3 misoprostol, 800 micrograms, sublingual. Mifepristone side effects include nausea, weakness, back pain, fever and chills, vomiting, headache, diarrhea, and dizziness. Misoprostol shares similar side effects.